It brings us to Chex Marks the Spot, where every week Kimmi highlights three players and something they did on Sunday, and maybe what this means for their fantasy value. So I got three names and three guys who either did something really good or did something maybe surprisingly bad. And so I'm going to ask you whether you believe it or not, whether or not this is what we should expect from some of these guys all season long. So we'll start down in Tampa with Leonard Fournette. Over 100 rushing yards, a pair of touchdowns, and at least for the time being, it looks like he may have taken that lead job away from Ronald Jones in the Buccaneers offense. So with what you saw from Uncle Lenny on Sunday, do you believe it or not?
I believe it, but I also believe that Rojo is still relevant too, right? Like there could be two running backs in that offense, especially one that's being run by Tom Brady. But if we want to take a look now at Leonard Fournette, now he took the ball with the Tampa Bay looking to run out the clock. They were up 24-17 over Carolina. He got a hole up front and he proceeded to burst up the field. He had 46 yards to the end zone for a touchdown that secured that win over Teddy Bridgewater and the Carolina Panthers. But his long run really highlighted his best performance yet with his new team as he carried the ball 12 times for 103 yards and 2 touchdowns while also getting in the passing game. He caught 4 passes for 13 yards. This is the Leonard Fournette that we were also excited about and also kind of threatened by us Rojo fantasy managers. I believe that he is going to be relevant, right? Like he is a veteran running back. He's playing for a veteran Tom Brady. Tom Brady needs those offensive weapons. He's going to want to give the ball and have him plug and go because there's always been some concern. Does Tom Brady still have that rocket arm? What's the answer to not having a rocket arm, even though he does? It's Leonard Fournette. I believe it, but I still do believe that Ronald Jones is relevant. So temper the expectation for the two guys. I think we can have a game where we saw Leonard Fournette go and shine, have one week where he's the star, have another week where Ronald Jones is the star. Regardless, they're both fantasy relevant.
Yeah, I mean, what happened yesterday is that after Rojo fumbled in that game, we saw a lot more Fournette, and maybe the slate gets wiped clean at the end of the week. And so we'll see next week how things work out in that backfield. But certainly on Sunday, it was all about Leonard Fournette. Carson Wentz has not shown out very well the first 2 weeks of the season. Just 13 fantasy points in week 1, just over 12 in week 2. Right now, he enters Monday morning as the QB 23 overall. So is this Carson Wentz's lot in life? Do you believe it or not?
You know, sadly, I believe that Carson Wentz, this is the future for him, right? He completed 26 of 43 pass attempts for 242 yards and 2 interceptions and their loss to the Rams on Sunday. But after being sacked 8 times in week 1, his offensive line gave up no sacks to Aaron Donald and company, which is insane because it's Aaron Donald. However, Wentz was completely unable to get anything going on his side of the ball. I think that they've been riddled with injuries. That's kind of a reoccurring theme that we've seen the last 2 seasons with the Eagles. But I sadly feel like Carson Wentz just does not have the gameplay and the game script to be fantasy relevant. I hate to say it. I think he's a great guy, but I feel like this is his future. This is a believe it. He's not that great.
Yeah, that's frustrating for me because I went into this season thinking he had sleeper potential, and maybe he turns things around, but the first 2 weeks have not been very encouraging. And I know there are a lot of questions being asked in Philadelphia about how this is going to go, and they're going to have to fix some things really quick because the Eagles have not gotten off to a good start. James Robinson is a name that just keeps popping up on this show, keeps popping up in fantasy football. He had 100 rushing yards on Sunday for the Jaguars, also found the end zone, and we talked about this Jaguars offense sort of being feisty right now and kind of fun to watch. So through a couple of weeks, what you've seen from James Robinson, do you believe it or not?
I believe it. I was really hype about James Robinson even ahead of week 1. I said, guys, he's on the waiver wire. Like, he's not owned in 99% of NFL.com leagues. Go get him. And then people have listened, but you need to keep listening. Something that I want to highlight with not only James Robinson, but DJ Chark. DJ Chark went and said to the media, he said that with Robinson, it's forcing defenses to concentrate on him, which loosens up the passing game. So if we talk about the Minshew mania and being really excited about this offense, now they have a few different weapons that defenses really need to get their head around. So I'm excited for James Robinson. And it's always fun when you see an undrafted free agent go out and completely shine and kind of put any doubt and any haters to rest.
Yeah, we didn't think that sort of thing would happen in 2020 with the lack of training camp and that sort of thing. But James Robinson has found an opportunity, and through the first 2 weeks of the season, he has taken advantage of it. So that'll be fun to keep an eye on as things go along there. There you go.